Good afternoon, everyone. Appreciate you being here today. It's good coming off a bye week with our team. I want to commend our guys. They did a really good job of practice and preparation through the bye week. I think those weeks are so important to continue to improve and get better. And obviously, when you have one late in the season like that, sometimes those things can go either way. I thought our guys did a great job. We got a lot of work done. Worked on some specific things in all phases of the game, and I feel like we got better at it. So on the game week here, we're looking forward to being at home against a very good opponent. Mercer does a tremendous job. They're really well coached. Mike Jacobs, their head coach, is a guy I've known for a long time. He's an Ohio guy. He's won at all places he's been, extremely successful. They just clinched the conference again for back-to-back years. They're 9-1. And when you look at their performance on both sides of the ball, I mean, they're first nationally in total offense and second in pass offense and fourth in scoring. They're putting up a lot of points, throwing the ball down the field. They have a extremely talented freshman quarterback that's doing a really good job. He knows where to go with the ball. And like I said, it's a lot of vertical routes and passes down the field, and their receivers go get it. They go catch it. They do a really good job. Defensively, they're very disruptive. They do a great job stopping the run. They're leading the nation in sacks. And producing a lot of tackles for loss and negative plays. And their defensive coordinator is a really good coach. He's a guy that I actually coached him when he played back at Bowling Green. So familiar with these guys. I know how they coach and how they work, and we know it's a challenge ahead for us. And so our guys are going to do a great job focusing on Mercer this week and preparing well for this game.
DJ, you guys made a decision on what y'all are going to do with Ashton and just the redshirt situation, all that at quarterback heading into this week?
I had a bet on if that'd be the first question or not, so I thank you. Yes, we do. I feel that you have a great responsibility as a head coach to do what is best for your football team and your program at all times. That's what you're hired to do. That's what you need to do. I also feel you have a great responsibility to the young men that you coach and their families to do what is best for them. And anytime you can kind of thread that needle where those two things align together, obviously that's the best and what makes it work. And I think in this case, we have that. I think the best thing for Ashton is to be able to preserve his redshirt year and be able to come back and play another year. I think it's tremendous for this program and also for him. I think he has great football ahead of him, and so we are going to do that. He will not play in this game so that he can keep that redshirt year. And again, I just think it's clearly the right thing to do.
Adding to that, do you know what you will do at quarterback, Ashton, whether it's Deuce kind of getting his shot, or have y'all decided that yet?
Both those guys are going to play in this game, Jackson and Deuce, and we're going to go through the practice week and kind of sort out what exactly that looks like. But I met with them both yesterday. They are both tremendously excited about this. I feel like Deuce has a lot of great football ahead of him and hasn't had that opportunity. He's going to get that opportunity. And you could just tell a difference in we practiced last night. You could tell a difference in him right there. And I think the same with Jackson. Jackson's a tremendously talented guy. We're going to put together a great plan for both these guys to have success. And I told their teammates it's their job to rally around them too. And I know those guys will. They feel strongly about that. And so I'm looking forward to how the entire team responds behind those guys.
Coach, since you are going to start Deuce, how do you get a young guy prepared here? You had 2 weeks to prepare for Mercer. Can you talk about the things maybe that you guys coached him on this week and how you get him prepared for his first start?
So again, both quarterbacks, we haven't decided starters and all that. It's both quarterbacks are going to play in the game, and we'll make that determination later in the week. But I think, with Deuce, it's like any other guy. You give him a plan and give him the right tools to help him that suit his strengths. And I think, again, it's about the teammates around you. I know the quarterback position gets the spotlight. Obviously, they often get more credit than they deserve and definitely get more blame than they deserve. But it's about the guys around him, and I think Deuce understands that too. He's got great players around him, and his job is to be, the distributor of the ball to those guys, and that's what we're going to ask him to do.
DJ, you talked about kind of this team. How was it as a staff to get through a week where you kind of had a chance to take a deep breath after drinking from a fire hose that first week? How was that handled last week, and now is there a lot more comfort level, I guess, heading into this game?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think like in this game week, we're a lot more settled into what the I guess the new norm is and what that looks like. I know for me in particular as well. So that was certainly helpful in that. There was a lot coming at us right there in the quick turnaround in that week. So I think we're more settled in that way. I believe that carries over our players. I think always as a coaching staff, when you're detailed, you're organized, there's a flow, there's a routine, that helps your team, lower the anxiety level of what's going on and know what to expect, and then that way focus on the right things, prepare. And so that is certainly the plan. I feel like we're in a good spot for that this week.
DJ, have you spoken with Cohen about the job and interviewed with him? Have you had that conversation with him?
I view every day here on the job as an interview. I think that's what I'm doing. I think you're getting a good glimpse of what I will be as a head coach here, and so I think I just treat it that way. And certainly there's conversations almost daily with him and our administration about a lot of things in the program, like would be the norm anyways. And so that's how it is. Our focus is solely on this team right now, preparing for the game this week, and that's it. And those things I think will play out and handle themselves as we go.
DJ, obviously the announcement today that Iron Bowl is going to be a night game, and everyone's looking forward to that. But you mentioned how talented Mercer is as an offense. How important is it going to be for your team to stay locked in this weekend and not look ahead to the Iron Bowl?
I mean, it's critically important, but I don't think it's going to be a problem for them because that's what we're doing. I mean, for real, that's where our focus is. So there's no. I was told about the time of that game as I was walking down there. I didn't know that. I mean, whatever. I know there's a game at 1 o'clock this weekend, and that's what we're preparing for. And our guys, they know that and understand that, and we've been game planning for that and preparing for this game, and so that is where our focus is. And obviously we understand what's coming down the road, but it has nothing to do with this week.
It's 2 weeks in now since you've taken over as interim head coach. What has the last 2 weeks been like in terms of roster management, re-recruiting, and what has kind of the feedback been from the current roster with all those things?
Yeah, I mean, I think that question is probably better answered by those guys, but from our standpoint, it's been good. It's been our guys have, I think, practiced really well at a high level. I think actions speak louder than words. Anyone could say where they are, but man, if you're really bought into what's going on and you're still with your team and 2 feet in, you're going to show it how you practice, how you prepare, and I feel like our guys have done a great job of that. The recruiting class, those are all been positive conversations. I think everyone obviously is waiting to kind of see what happens, what shakes out. I think that's only natural. I'd probably be doing the same thing in their shoes too, but I think you look at the strength of those guys and their bond with one another and with our coaching staff, those guys have all hung tight and are still in there, and they're just kind of waiting to see how this plays out, and so that's what it'll be.
DJ, you talked about kind of settling in for you guys as a defense heading into this one, obviously another challenge. Did you learn anything after going back and watching Vandy about maybe game days, anything you might handle differently, how the flow of the game goes as a play caller and the head coach as well?
Yeah, definitely. That game, I think, probably on both sides went a little different than anyone thought it was going to go, and it kind of changed throughout it. I really wish, looking back, I made a few different adjustments throughout the game defensively, so I'm certainly going to be better that way moving forward. I think it's important in I guess any profession, but especially ours, that you take time to reflect. You got to go back and reflect. We coach our guys all the time and grade them on the film what they did. I think as coaches we do the same thing, and so there's certainly things that I myself and our defensive staff could have done better in that game, and we've talked about that and addressed that. And I think moving forward we'll be smoother with that too.
DJ, looking back at that Vandy game, especially on defense in the secondary, what kind of lessons do you guys learn from that game, having some extra time to look back at it and knowing that y'all got Mercer this week, and obviously Alabama's really talented passing offense coming up as well?
That game kind of changed. They went to a different offense than what they've been running for the past 2 years, and so it kind of changed what we've been practicing and looking at. And again, credit to them. I think they saw early on the game itself kind of changed. We were being successful on offense, moving the ball, scoring points. They were not moving the ball very well on offense, and so they did a great job as a staff and their team. They have a quarterback that's able to do that and kind of changing it out of it. So it just for us is really it's a lot about technique and fundamentals and eye control. That's what we focused on in the open week. I think we have talented guys in the back end. We have guys that we've played really well, obviously at times, and I think it's coming back to that. You got to have your cleats in the dirt, your eyes in the right place, and play the call, not be looking around. I think we got out of position at times in that game just based on some of those simple fundamentals.
Hey, DJ, obviously when you were a defensive coordinator here, you kind of had the keys to the car when it comes to running the defense. Now that you've been promoted to this interim role, how much more of your day-to-day is spent in offensive meetings and trying to make sure that you're present both sides of the ball while still calling the defense?
Yeah, I think, it's really important that the team understands, that you are present on both sides of the ball and supportive in every way. I think, Derek Nick's done a great job preparing our offense. I think he and I have a lot of conversations about what the plan is, what we want it to look like, and he does a great job of executing from that plan. And then, with our players, it's just a matter of, they all understand and get what the role is right now. It's still, partially defensive coordinator, but I do believe that, it's important. Everything we do is as a team, bring it together, and it's not offense, defense. It's just our team, and we say it all the time and mean it and believe it. This is our team. It's not any one side of the ball.
Coach, with so much coming, last week you said that you guys made a concerted effort to get Cam Coleman the ball. You did that. He came up a little hobbled at times during the game. Can you talk about his status this week and how he looks headed into Mercer, and if you guys are going to take the same approach?
Yeah, Cam's healthy. He's great. He's been practicing, doing well. So he's full go. I think whatever he was hobbled from the game, that's just part of it. He had a lot of touches and made a lot of plays in the game. That's part of it. So we're excited about what he's going to continue to do moving forward.
DJ, what was Ashton's reaction when y'all had those conversations and you finally told him, hey, this is what we'd like to do? Obviously, his input was important in that too, but how did he just sort of, I guess, take those conversations and take potentially sitting and then trying to come back and play?
Yeah, Ashton is like, that guy, he's a dude, man. Like, he honestly, if whatever we would have said, like, this is the plans we're going to do, he'd have been 100% with and been full speed ahead and not flinched. And I think he's just a tremendous person, just great character, great teammate. His teammates know that, they feel that. You can see how the guys rally around him. He's amazing. And then I think, you say all that, it's like, okay, well, how does that happen? And then you get on the phone with his mom and dad, and it's like, well, okay, well, that's pretty clear where he came from. They're just tremendous people and just about the team, about the right things. Both mom and dad are coaches as well. And so you can tell where all that comes from. So I think it's very clear what the right thing to do is. That's why we're doing it. But I also want to be very clear, like, it's not something they were pressuring or pushing, or this is just, they were ready to do whatever the team asked of them. And I think it's just, pretty incredible. Thank you.